Hello, everybody. Welcome back again to the Clara and Amanda show, the Friday List Perfectly YouTube Live. We're back. They're back. Very excited to be here. What's up, Dana Crawford? What's up, Red Nose Pit? Nice as it's Desiree. Nice to see you from Luxury on a Dime. What's up, Garden Resale Thrifts? Hopefully, everybody's doing great on this Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm super excited about this show, obviously, because Clara and Amanda are here, but Suzie Eads is a good friend of mine. Suzie Eads is a good friend of yours. She's a good friend of the seller community. Um, I'm sure we met at eBay Open, but it's funny. I think we really connected at Poshfest. So we went down the end of this hall and sat and talked for a long time. She's been on my listing party, the Snoop Dougie show. She's been on the Seller Community podcast. She's been selling on eBay 26 years. She's a wealth of knowledge. She's a lady of many names. She goes by the eBay Queen. She goes by Big Daddy's Money, Victorian Trading. She's also raised 7 kids. Special shout out to Rachel and Zach. I like that Zach kid. He's a little entrepreneurial hustler for his age. And she's homeschooled them all, and they've all been involved in her business at some point. And so now they are all entrepreneurs themselves, still helping out, but doing all kinds of great stuff out there. So real quick, what's up, Leanne? Nice to see you. Justina, nice to see you. Brian, what's up? Nice for being here. Becca Hustles, nice to see you. Vanessa, nice to see you. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in my friends, Clara, Amanda, and Suzie. And then I'll be here. I'm going to drop out, but I'll be back towards the end with some interesting news and then a couple other things. Thanks, everybody. And I'm going to bring them in, and then I will see you all soon. All right, ladies.
Thank you, Doggy. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Oh my goodness, we have a full house. How Justina, Leanne, everybody, Becca, Vanessa. We're joined here together. The dynamic duo of Clara and Amanda. We're back, but today we're joined by our amazing friend, Suzie Eads. Suzie, welcome to List Perfectly channel.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, the feeling is mutual. Isn't that exciting, Andy?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I remember I don't remember exactly when we first met, but I know it was a while ago. And I just remember, more recently talking to you at Camp Listing Party, hearing about your selling journey, everything that you're doing. I mean, really amazing. So I'm thrilled to have you here with us today.
Thanks.
Indeed, Suzie. So, would you be so kind? Oh, hi, everybody. Oh my goodness, here. Hey, Star, amazing Star. Kathy, thank you. So, Suzie, could you be so kind, okay, to introduce yourself and let us know, share with our amazing audience, a little more about yourself, please.
So today, the 29th is my 26th eBay anniversary from selling on eBay, 26 years. And my mother wasn't quite sure that I was going to make it that long, but here I am. And I started selling because I live on 40 acres, and my husband wanted me. We wanted to build the house that we're in right now, and he said we had to pay off the land, and so I started putting stuff on eBay to pay off the land. And one weird thing about me is I'm in Ripley's, believe it or not, for having the house that eBay built.
What? Come again. So you are, okay, we are famous right now, okay? Suzie, that's it. I need your autograph. I'm getting the Guinness book, okay? And what is it, the Ripley's book, okay? And then we're going to get a signature. That's incredible. So how did that happen, Suzie? Can you tell a little more about
that? About Ripley's or about?
Yeah, how did you, okay.
I didn't know that I was even in it. And my oldest son's friend said, hey, they were at Boy Scouts, and he goes, hey, did you know you're in Ripley's, believe it or not? And I went, what? I didn't know. And so I was interviewed for in the Kansas City Star about my eBay business, and they followed me around for a day, and that went out to all the McClatchy newspapers, and that's how I think Ripley's picked it up. But it was kind of funny that I'm in it. It's a little claim to fame.
That's incredible. And you said that you were in it because it was the first house, or how was it that you?
They said I'm in Ripley's, believe it or not, for having the house that eBay built. And that's kind of what I told the Kansas City Star, was that I was selling on eBay to build the house we're in. So, and that is definitely where it all came from, I think.
Wow.
Okay, that's a story in and of itself. The fact that you used your income from eBay to build your home.
Incredible.
And I mean, congratulations. That's amazing. I think that's a dream for most people, that, they can not only, have a business and make money on it, but pay their mortgage, build a house, get land, all of that stuff.
We just put a 40 by 60 building out on the property that we have. It's kind of our warehouse now.
Yeah.
And when I go over to it, I'm always a little amazed that it's here. And it's because of eBay. It's because I sell on the internet. So
wow, yes, Desiree. Actually, it's not the house built from the staff of eBay. Yes, so what she throughout her sales, okay, she was able to not only buy the land, build the house, and develop even further. In our case, the abundance, we're also grateful to eBay. Thank you, eBay, our amazing partner, because they would be no list perfectly without eBay.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, I can't sing eBay's praises enough. Clara and I, we were eBay sellers. I've been an eBay seller since 2003. Clara came on board 2009. So, yeah, I mean, eBay's launched the dreams of so many of us. So, yeah, it's a pretty awesome story. Thank you for sharing.
I just wanted to stay home. I mean, it was important for Chris and I that I stay home with our kids.
Yeah.
And when I started eBay, I think I only had 3 kids. And so, and when, it was kind of, I just wanted to stay home and kind of contribute. I mean, Chris has always had a good job and he works hard, and I just wanted to get us there faster. So that's why I sold stuff on eBay. And I never really thought I was a business until, well, I still don't always think I'm a business. I just think I'm somebody that sells a bunch of junk out of their house.
So you were actually in our live, or in the comments in the live that we had last week. You just attended ASD.
Yeah.
And how did that go for you?
Yeah.
Well, it was fun. I mean, it was scary. Like, I was a little nervous about it because you never know what you're getting into, because you've never been there. And Teresa, T-Money, she really was like, oh, you should go. And I was like, okay. It was interesting to see all of these people there, to see all of the product. And I got, after the first day, I really kind of got into it. It was good that they had the first day on a Sunday, because you're thinking, oh, it's Sunday. It's really, and that's kind of how it was. But it was great. And the product that they had, it's just amazing. And it was so big. You think the, different conventions are big. This thing was huge. And it was free. If you registered beforehand, it was free. And so anybody could go to it. You didn't have to have a reseller's license or anything.
Wow, that's awesome. So would you say that by the end of it, I heard that you walked away with a couple of booths. You happy with that purchase, or did you get home and be like, what did I do?
No, actually, I was sort of annoyed that I didn't buy more stuff.
Whoa!
But one of the things that was really funny, we were in the cash and carry section, and I said, okay, I'd like to have this, this, and this. And then I said to Trish, hey, I'm going to have to get another suitcase. And the guy goes, well, if you buy this, I'll throw in a suitcase. And I went, do it. And so that suitcase weighed 49.8 pounds. So it was just under the
the oversized. You didn't have to pay any extra fees on the plane home, right?
Yeah. So I was a little nervous, but it was 49.8 pounds.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
That's great. Incredible. So would you do it again, Suzie?
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about doing it in August and bringing my oldest daughter who works with me, Rachel, to it just to see, because she picks up on things that I don't. Sometimes I feel like my head is swimming with stuff and she seems to be more grounded and goes, oh, what about that? Did you see that? What about that? So she would she would urge me to do stuff that I was on the fence about probably too.
Awesome. So would you say that that's one of your reselling success tips?
ASD? Yes. I would say that it is definitely one of my, for sure. For sure.
All right. And for anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, ASD is it's a biannual show from what I understand. We talked about it with Trish and Teresa last week on last week's live. But yeah, it's kind of like everything under the sun. Would you say, like, one of the things we mentioned was it's not like it's just everything. I mean, even vintage sellers were there. So I thought that was interesting. It really is like an everything under the sun kind of convention. You go, like Suzie said, it's free and it's a sourcing opportunity for anybody.
That has everything there, from stuff that people would get at a convenience store, 7-Eleven, Quick Trip, something. It has stuff like that, but it also has places where you can go learn, like as a boutique seller, anything like that. And it has lotion and soap and clothing and tools, glasses, sunglasses.
Wow.
Just anything you could ever imagine looking for, it's there.
That's awesome. So I wanted to ask you, I'm very curious about Mastermind, and I understand that you attend Mastermind, and what is that?
So that is on, I always feel like I have to say it like Clara does, listing party.
I love you, Suzie.
It's on listing party, and it's every morning. It's 8:00 my time, but other people, it feels like it's just right being at 8:00 in the morning my time. Yeah. And it's we get together and talk about all kinds of stuff. Just if you had a problem with something, or just Macari having going to free for sellers. We just talk about everything. Customer acquisition plan. Who are your customers? We talk about all kinds of stuff, and it's really helpful. And you don't have to be on screen. You don't have to say a thing, or you could talk the whole time.
Suzie, did you just get a sale?
I did. Sorry.
Oh, never apologize. At least perfectly. There it is. Okay. I love it. You're doing it live, at least perfectly. There it is. There you have it.
What did they say? They say if you can, I can't remember who said it, but if you can make money in your sleep, you're doing good. And I can make money while I'm on YouTube live with you.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. And that was the idea. That's why we always lean so much on e-commerce with Amanda, because we knew that would be the way to be our own bosses and at the same time grow the business at our own pace.
There is something to be saying that you being your own boss. I mean, my boss is a real pain in the butt. She always makes me get up and go to work every day. So, actually, I think my kids say that, but
that's I'm so glad that you participate and you're a big supporter of Mastermind, because it's things like that. Would you say that that's, one of your secrets to success is like accountability or talking to
Yeah.
other people about sales? I'm sure it's part of the toolbox.
Well, so when, I started 26 years ago, I didn't have anybody to
Yeah.
say anything to me. And that was just right after I started homeschooling my kids. My oldest daughter was in school, and the principal of the school told me about eBay, and that's when
Oh,
I started doing stuff. I didn't have any. I just jumped in and started doing it. So I didn't have anything like Mastermind to help me get through my my questions and all of that. And so some of the questions, I learned stuff every day just being on there from people who think they have only been on a couple of years, but you can learn something from anybody for sure. For sure. And I like to go to Star has a thing I like to go and listen to, and there's a couple. Snoop Doggy has a show on Wednesdays. I always like to go listen to everything he has to say, and you just learn stuff. And even the List Perfectly group, you have a question, like I couldn't remember how to print a QR code, and I said I can't remember how to do this. Boom, somebody tells you. So yeah, it's the amount of help you get is incredible.
Oh, Clara's muted.
that's amazing. Sorry, my apologies. So, Susie, is my understanding that you're selling two different kind of things, okay? And you have two different stores. Would you mind elaborating on that for our community?
Okay, so my first store and the oldest store, it's 26 years old today, is Big Daddy's Money. And that store, I really sell everything in, but mostly I sell intimates, bras, underwear, swimsuits, pajamas, that kind of thing. But I will sell, if I walk in someplace and find something, if I went to a garage sale, if I go to an auction and I find something I think I can make money on, it'll go on there. So no matter what it is. And then I inadvertently acquired a store through, I was a consultant for the company, and then I bought out part of their product, which is Victorian Trading. And that's kind of a niche store where I sell Victorian-like stuff. And when I went to ASD, that's what I was looking for. And I've had that store 8 years.
So do you find it's easy to keep track of everything across two stores? Is that a good strategy? It seems like a good strategy for you, but what led you to start two stores instead of keeping everything in one?
So the people that like this Victorian product are really passionate about that product, whereas somebody who wants to buy a pair of pajamas isn't probably as passionate as a miscellaneous nightgown or something as they would be about a Victorian thing. So I kept them separate for that reason. But I had a long talk with eBay about that because they thought, oh, maybe you should just put it all in one. And so I've kept them separate. And I think it was a pretty good idea. It is the way I handle the inventory for both stores, the way I categorize things, they're done very differently.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Now, do you think, Susie, in your growth, now you're doing, you're sourcing for multiple different venues. Do you think you're going to keep those two stores separated? Is that your future? Do you think where do you see your growth going? On more stores, or getting more inventory, or maybe consolidating those two into one store?
So with Victorian Trading, I have product made. I have a couple of contacts in different places that I sketch out a design and I send it to them and they make it. And so that's been kind of scary. And when I went to Boss, I was waiting on some product that came in that was pretty great. But I sketch out different things. I have different ideas for stuff. Like I'm working on some stuff for the election. Flipping hippos.
We love you, Star.
I did talk to her about me, TK, in the bathroom at camp. So I'll tell you that story in a minute. But anyway, it is totally different. Whereas with Big Daddy's Money, I buy product almost anywhere. I do a little bit of retail arbitrage, but I also have connections with people who, with people that I buy stuff from boutiques and stores that they don't want their stuff anymore and I buy it. So I've built relationships with people like that.
Yeah, definitely.
I have to know. I mean, it's just as a reseller who never had anything custom made, you know, one of the things that was a little scary, right, is it must have been a process for you to go and find the place where they would make this stuff for you, the reputation, and then, you know, the minimum order, and then getting it in, making sure that it had that quality you were looking for. I mean, you know, it's amazing that you as a reseller went down that road, and I'm very impressed with that. If there's any tips or anything that you could share for anyone else that might be interested.
Well, so Victorian Trading was a 30-year-old catalog company. And ironically, the woman who started that company, I interviewed her for a college class I had before I knew anything about eBay, before there was even an internet. I interviewed her about being a woman in business. And she had her children at her store, and they were doing different stuff for her. And she was talking about, you know, Victorian and being in business and what she did. And I was just in awe of this woman. And so I wrote a paper about her. And then many, many years later, I was contacted through LinkedIn, and they said, can you come and put stuff on, or can you show us how to put stuff on eBay and Amazon? I'm like, sure. So I get there and I'm like, you are already doing this. You don't need me to help you. The people you have. And they're like, no, no, no. And so I was just a consultant for them, but I worked there almost 8 years, putting their product on eBay and Amazon. And I watched them develop product. I watched them, I watched the things that they've done that were great, the things they did that weren't great, their different stuff. I was so lucky to be with, oh my gosh, my LinkedIn. What an incredible, weird place that is. But I really learned a lot from them. And so that's how I sort of got in it. But I'll tell you, when you start making product that you have an idea for, like I designed some charm bracelets and some stuff like that. And when I do that, I just send this stuff into people. I have a printer that makes Christmas cards. I have someone that does a lot of prints for me and stuff. So it's something you just close your eyes and jump. You just say, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm either going to do it or I'm not. Right. And will you be happy with yourself if you don't do it? I mean, it's just like your guys' idea for List Perfectly. I mean, how many times did you think maybe I should do this? Maybe I shouldn't do it. I just got to go do it, and just got to go do it.
That's so true. And you can't, even though you try not to go that way, it's like life sends you that way.
Right. Right. Well, even though you fight it, you can fight it and fight it and fight it. And
no, that was really, that's how Amanda saved me. Okay. When I got out of banking, when I saw what eBay could do for me and the way I could grow, you know, with my business and be my own boss and no longer have to work 12 hours a day was just incredible. Was liberating for me. That was incredible. But hold on, I have a question, Suzie. Is this true?
That is yes, I think I know who Rainbow Cheeseburger is. That's
my goodness. So this is the perfect segue. So you're a proud mom of how many? Please share with our audience, because I know you're very proud about this.
7 children.
Wow, we love
Suzie, how do you get the time?
I didn't give birth to all of them. I only gave birth to 5. I adopted 2.
Okay,
so
only five,
only
audience.
5.
Okay, so
And
no,
amazingly, I was told I couldn't have any children. So somebody was wrong.
I guess they were wrong, but
Right.
one of the things, and thank you for showing up for your mom, Rainbow Cheeseburger. Thank you. But one of the things that Trish and Doug always speak so highly about you is how you're able to homeschool, if I'm not mistaken, your children. Also, they're helping you on your online e-commerce businesses. So did I get that right, Suzie? Can you elaborate on that, please?
Yes. Well, so when I first started, only 5. When I first started, I guess I just thought, hey, I thought they'd learn a few things. And I never thought I would homeschool my kids. And when I did, I incorporated my business into their learning. Not so much. And when my oldest son was 13, he was like, he'd get his school done really quick, and then he wouldn't do anything except play games. And I said, well, you're not doing that. So you're going to build a website for me, and you're going to do this. And then he built a website for me. Then he went and built one for the church, and we got another church, and he got a $50 gift card for building that one for another church. And he goes, I can make money doing this. And I said, yeah. And when I would travel with him because he couldn't rent a hotel and he couldn't rent a car.
Yeah.
And so he did that. And then Rainbow Cheeseburger there, she had a dance studio when we live in a small town, and the dance studio closed down, and she opened her own dance studio. And I think by the time COVID happened, which really kind of closed it down, she had 2 different studios in 2 different towns, and I think 600 students. So, and then I had another daughter who started an art studio, and one of my sons sells stuff on eBay. Rachel sells stuff on eBay. She's my oldest. She works for me, and she sells stuff on eBay. And Zach, who's 13, he helps out immensely, and he is my List Perfectly king. Anytime I go, Zach, what am I doing wrong?
We love you.
And he's the posh. He can't be the posh king because there's already a posh king. So he's the posh prince and the List Perfectly. He handles all of that. And I said, look, if you do what you're supposed to do, I'll take you to the convention. So,
oh my!
But yes, because if you see your mom do something, you think I can do it because my mom did it.
Yeah.
And so that's what they've done for sure.
That's very inspiring.
That's awesome. So I was going to ask too, it seems like you get a lot of help it's very much a family business. So in your operation, is it like, you've got one of the kids is doing the shipping, the other's doing the photography and or are you still very much like doing all of that?
So Rachel, my oldest daughter, she does 99.9% of the shipping. Every once in a while, her dad helps out, but not too often. He handles all kinds of other stuff since we have this warehouse. And so I do most of the stuff that yes, that's right, Pam. Anyway, everybody does a little bit of something, but I write up most of the things. And I guess that's a weird terminology that I introduced to Mastermind is that I write stuff up. I don't know what anybody else calls it, but that's what I call it when I am listing stuff, getting them ready.
That's right.
Yeah. And just a reminder, Mastermind is open to any current List Perfectly subscriber. If you have a List Perfectly subscription, Listing Party is free for you. So it was built for you to get advice, to meet people, to learn about reselling and up your reselling game. So, you can, get together, you can go to Mastermind. It is open to any current List Perfectly subscriber. Just want to make sure that everybody knows that.
And you don't have to say anything, and you don't have to be on camera, or you can be on camera.
Right.
I mean, you can do it however you want, but I was a little nervous about it. I probably wouldn't have done it if I hadn't already known Trish. And so, but I've talked a couple of people into doing it, and now they're on camera. So I'm glad about that.
Yeah, and it's a safe place. I mean, that was really important for all of us, is that, you know, it's a safe reseller space. It's there for you to just grow and grow your business and learn, and to feel safe. If you want, like you say, Suzie, if you want to go on camera, you can, but you don't have to. You can, you know, be in your pajamas and not go on camera if that's your thing. But we very much really, really encourage everybody to go and join a session or two or more.
That's right. And correct me if I'm wrong, Suzie, you have grown all of your resale businesses. And if I'm not mistaken, you are not using social media as a tool to grow them.
No.
There you go.
I haven't. It to me, I think what a lot of people in this world, we all think everything has to be on social media. Everything, we have to tell everybody everything.
Yeah.
But when I decided, which I still really don't think I'm a business, but when I know that I'm a business, you know, I want to have the same qualities that I would want in an employee. And it's important for me, I have to show up on time. I have to do what I'm supposed to do. I have to be an example for the people that, you know, are here that work for me. And it's a big thing to be, you know, you go to work, you do what you're supposed to do, and you give 100% to what you're doing. And consistency is important. So whether you list one thing a day, or 40 things or 100 things, it's important that you do it every day. And so my success, I would tell you, is that I do the same thing every day. And if I'm not home, I have a bank, as Trish would call it, that I can list. So when I was gone at ASD, we listed 40 things a day, no matter what, because I already had it ready to go.
Absolutely. No, thank you. And there you have it, beautiful audience. If you're thinking that you need to have social media presence in order to grow your reselling business, here is Suzie to prove you wrong. No need. We recommend it. Yes, we cross-post to Instagram. All you have to do is select one more icon, and literally we take your listings to Instagram profiles, not business profiles. But Susie's not using it. She uses this perfectly. But there is no need, to go into social media if it is something that you're not feeling comfortable with. And that's what I always say, not because someone does it, you have to go and do it. You have to stick to what you feel is going to work for you.
Consistency in listing is what I believe works the very best over social media. Social media for sure is consistency.
And you mentioned the listing bank.
The listing bank.
That's
so
right.
Smart. Can you talk about that?
So on average, I can write up 65 or 70 things a day. I can make the listings for them. They don't go live, but I make the listings. So if I write up 60 things a day, I've decided that, and I have a bank. I had a bank of a little over 400, and I have a bank of about 300 right now. So if you write up 60 things and you list 40, 20 are automatically in your bank. And I already have that bank. But if you were somebody that can only do 10 a day, if you wrote up the 10 and you got it so that in a week you would have 100 and you only list 5 a day, you're going to have a bank of things when you're not going to be, when you've got Easter, when you have your family coming over, when you have to go do whatever, you have that to list those 5 things. And it's really important, the consistency. It doesn't sound like it, but it tells eBay, it tells the other sites that, hey, I'm a contender, put me in.
Yeah, because the marketplaces can count on your consistency, and then promoting, whether it's organically or even if you're paying, it's going to put you on a better ranking situation, because that's what marketplaces want to see, consistency. You nailed it. Thank you for sharing that. That's important. Whether you're a small business, very small reseller, or maybe you're doing this as a side hustle, or maybe you're doing to help, downsize the house of your family, consistency is key, whether you have 10 listings, 100 or 10,000.
For sure.
Yeah. Have you found that so you're primarily eBay, maybe what are the other sites that you sell on? Could you remind us?
I have my own website.
Okay.
2 of them. I have eBay. I have a tiny bit on Amazon, a tiny bit on Etsy, and Poshmark.
Do you list your items simultaneously on multiple marketplaces, or do you pick one primary for each listing? What's your strategy there?
So eBay is the big one for me, and most of my listings are geared towards eBay, unless I just have some craft stuff that I'm putting on Etsy, something like that. So mostly it is all geared to eBay, and then I have it, of course, enlist perfectly, and then I tailor it out to wherever else it's going to go after it goes from eBay.
Got it. Yeah, I asked because, in the early days when Clara and I first started reselling, we experimented a lot. Okay, let's try to put everything everywhere all at once, or let's try to mix and match. Some things go on Etsy, some things go on eBay, and it's different for every seller. Obviously, different marketplaces have different. They specialize in different things. Like you take something like Depop, it's probably not going to be the appropriate marketplace for collectible china, right?
Right.
But you have different marketplaces for different things. So yeah, I think you have a really good strategy there. Do you find that it matters what time of day your listings start and what day?
Yeah.
So I list every day for Victorian Trading in the morning. Right after Mastermind, I list stuff for Victorian Trading. For Big Daddy's Money, I do it in the evening. But I don't know that really matters, because most of my stuff is all 30-day fixed price listings. So I don't know that matters as much. But yeah, I don't think that it does. But we talked about this on Mastermind the other day. I have a newsletter that goes out to the people that follow Victorian Trading every Thursday that shows my new stuff, the stuff that could be coming in, that kind of thing. So it goes out to them, and that goes out in the morning.
Yeah. I'm sorry, in your website, what is the names of your website, Suzie, please?
So my Victorian Trading website, I think, just goes to eBay right now, because we're trying to push some stuff over. But my other one is bigdaddysmoney.com. And I should tell you, I didn't realize when I started with Big Daddy's Money that I just thought it was a funny name, but I had no idea that it was going to be I don't know. I would have chose something else, I think. But when I started on eBay, my name was Suzie Eads.
Yeah.
And they let you do that. Well, I didn't know it was, and they said I couldn't have my name as my thing. Well, and my husband, when I sold a bunch of stuff, I said to him, hey, how am I going to get more money to sell stuff to put on eBay? And so in the South, your grandpa and your grandma are your big daddy and your big mama.
Yeah.
And so he thought that was really funny. And so he goes, here's $100 from Big Daddy. And so my dad thought it was really about him, but my husband knows that he is Big Daddy. So he gave me the money. It all started from $100 that my husband gave me on my birthday to continue with the business. So, and people say stuff like, Big Daddy this, Big Daddy that. Who's Big Daddy? It says on my credit card. And every year we take our family, because they work for me, out to dinner for Christmas, a Christmas dinner. And one year I gave them it was our Big Daddy's money credit card. And he goes, "Who's here? Who's Big Daddy?" And Chris pointed at me. But anyway, we get a kick out of it. But who knew that I would sell bras and underwear with a man's thing? So
I love it, but that's the beauty of having a small business, that we
Right.
can customize the name, the sourcing, the products, the branding, everything, the listings to our personality. And that's why we always say it doesn't matter if Amanda, Suzie, and Ed, we're all selling the same stuff, because we're going to list it differently and we're going to reach different audiences. Would you agree with that, Suzie?
Oh yeah. I mean, I
Oh,
think
so you were going to drink, and I'm like, would you agree with that,
No,
Suzie?
I think for sure that we would reach different audiences. I just didn't know. I mean, I think it's really important
Yeah.
to be able to change what you're doing. When I first started selling stuff, I sold stuff from auctions and garage sales, because that was readily available to me. And
Yeah.
then when September 11th happened, nobody was interested in buying that stuff.
Oh,
I don't know the significance of why, but
Yeah.
people didn't want grandma's china anymore.
Yeah.
And they didn't want the same dishes that was on The Sopranos. They just weren't. And so I changed and I would buy bedding, a lot of bedding.
Yeah.
And that worked out for a while. But then the supply chain, there was a problem with that. So I
Yeah.
switched up to some other stuff. And
Mhm.
then, I mean, I've switched my whole life. You just have to change
Yeah.
and get in I mean, writing up bras and underwear is not as interesting as writing up vintage stuff, in my opinion. It's just not. I mean, you're not holding something. It's just not as interesting, but
Yeah.
it's what is readily available to me. And so if you're looking to find something, you should find something that's readily available to you. And if you consistently list the stuff, you consistently work on it every day, you'll get where you want to go.
Absolutely. Hey, we have a questions here. Let's say maybe you can help us to answer. Melissa, hi, Melissa. Where would I find the eBay newsletter if anybody knows the answer?
Oh, store. You would go to your store. It's under the store. Click on the little door. If you have a store, you click on the little door and it will show you, it has features, and you can send out newsletters. You can send it out one newsletter for people that like your stuff all the time. You can send it out to one newsletter to people that haven't been to your store in a while, haven't shown traffic. It's crazy the way you can do it. But
All right. I don't have any listings here, but you said that to go from the
manage your store. If you go to manage your store,
all right.
And I think to set up your store, I think is where it would be underneath. But Melissa should come to the mastermind.
Yes.
I'll share my screen and show her. It's really easy.
Oh, sounds
yeah. Go to Mastermind. Absolutely.
And Suzie, how you've been using List Perfectly for how long?
Probably since early last year. So the camp listing party was in June, and I started trying it out and trying to figure it out. I worked with it on Victorian Trading, and then I took that off, and then I said, I'm just jumping in and I'm going to do it with Big Daddy's Money. And I have 16,000 listings on Big Daddy's Money. And so I had to copy all of those. And probably, I think it's been a year now, since March, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Awesome.
And now, how could you say, what is the most, with List Perfectly and helping you grow your business, what would you say is your favorite feature of List Perfectly, or something that you couldn't live without?
I really, really like that it adapts so well to the different like if you're going to Kidizen, which I've been trying to do, but I haven't quite figured out the right groove with it.
Yeah.
And one girl's, what is that? That's not me.
No. They're saying she's answered, but they're
oh yeah. So I use Shopify.
You're using Shopify for your websites, and it's if you're not using Shopify for your website, you should, And again, unlimited with List Perfectly cross posting.
It's easy. So, but so when I go to list something from List Perfectly onto Poshmark, it is Poshmark. You feel like you're in Poshmark, and when you go and you're on Kidizen, you are there. So it's not a disconnect between the what am I trying to say? The e-commerce site and your listing.
Absolutely. And thank you for sharing that, because, not only you took advantage of the software that we offer, but you are very diligent on attending the listing party sessions to grow your businesses. In that, what would you suggest to anybody that is using List Perfectly and have not tried listing party?
I think that if you should always go to the listing party, even if somebody you're talking to doesn't have isn't doing something that you care about so much. You can still glean a little nugget of knowledge. And I have I have a notebook that I write down stuff right next to me, and that I write down stuff that I learn. Listing party, all my kids listen.
Oh no, I love it.
So for instance, they know people's voices. So they don't always have it on the screen, but sometimes I put it to my big TV, and so they can see everybody in the Brady Bunch fashion, is what I say on the Zoom call, and they know. And they just know different people. And sometimes Zach will go, "Oh, that's Brian," and then he goes, "How do I know that's Brian?" I go, "I don't know, but you're right, it's Brian." And so it is really, you can learn just about anything. And I've been wanting to go to Nisha's group that she has with jewelry. I mean, you can always learn something, and I haven't been able to go yet, but I can't wait to go do that. And I've been to Dana had a listing thing. I've been to several of them, and you should just go and just try it. Go dark, don't have your picture, you don't have to talk, and you'll see that everybody is really, really inviting. Oh, look, there's my girl Star. So I do like to listen, put my headphones in, and I say to my kids, if my headphones in, "Are you bleeding from the head? Is the house on fire? Don't interrupt me," because I'm trying to focus on my work. But yes, I met Star at the camp listing party, and they were talking about this listing party thing, and I was like, oh my gosh, I guess I just didn't know anything about it. And she made me we talked about a couple of serial killers, and one that lives in the state of Kansas, and he was a real big deal in my life. My dad traveled, and he bought us a Doberman because BTK is who it was. My dad bought a Doberman because he was worried something would happen to my mom and my brother and sister and I. And so and BTK would lock the kids in the bathroom. And my dad had phones installed into the bathrooms that had different transfer things. So if he cut the phone line at the main phone line, I could call the police. I know, it's so crazy.
Wow.
That's how big it was to me when I was a kid. It was really impressionable that my father was so worried, because he was gone all the time, that something would happen. So I talked to her about that, and I guess that's why I have an interest in serial killers, but whatever, don't tell anyone.
No, I love that. I love that you created a connection,
Right.
not to do with reselling, but you made that connection, and you were able to now there's a listing party, True Crime and List. So that's pretty awesome. I wanted to give a really big shout out to, first of all, everybody that hosts a listing party. You give your time. it's our community that puts these together. You give your time to other resellers, and anybody, just so you know, any List Perfectly member can host a listing party. But I want to give a really, really big shout out to Resell with Trish Glenn, who every day, almost every day, I mean, literally, like, it has to be like a really, a special reason why she can't be there, but every day she's in Mastermind, and she's there giving her advice for you, for the community. And I thank you to everyone that does this, and you can too. I hope that this inspires everybody to come and attend or even host.
That's right. That's right. What a session. What an incredible session. And we're coming close to the end. And this is the fun part, because if you don't have List Perfectly and you want to hang out with Suzie on listing party and then grow with Mastermind, this is your chance, okay? The only requirement is that you never had List Perfectly before. So with much further ado, we're bringing back our amazing Doggy's Meat, aka Snoop Doggy.
And so when Clara said, "Now comes the fun part," I knew I was coming back in, because I love it. So, but first, before we go, so thank you so much, Suzie. That was awesome. I actually learned some new things about you, so that's great. But thank you so much for coming, and thanks to everybody for being here. Couple quick things. Do you ladies want to stick around for the news? Thank you so much, Flipping It Bumps. Whatever that heart thing is, I can't do it with my fingers. I'm a drummer.
He's a hot topic in our house. Good old Doug.
I love it. I am, we're going to step out with Amanda, and we're going to leave you with Suzie so you can talk about this breaking news that I can't wait. And I want to say thank you, Suzie, for your time.
Thank you.
For believing in us, for choosing List Perfectly, and above everything, for being patient and always helping us to grow List Perfectly in the right direction.
And you know that we met at eBay Open in 2019, I think. And I didn't really know what List Perfectly was, but I thought, holy camole, if I could have that lady's energy.
Oh, I think I remember Suzie. Oh, girl, believe me, it was like when you have only $1,500 left in your bank, okay, and you're up to $200,000 in debt. Girl, I had the energy of the war. I was like, okay, success or bust, okay.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, man. Thank you, Doug and Suzie. We'll see you next weekend. Bye. Right. Happy Easter.
Thanks, ladies. Thank you so much. All right, Suzie, so you have a few more minutes?
Okay.
There's no need to cry. It's okay.
I always cry when you're around.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
Tears of joy.
All right. Well, let me run through this interesting news, and then I would love your quick perspective on it, if you don't.
Sure.
So, if you hadn't heard, there's news from Mercari this week, ladies and gentlemen. And it's very interesting. It's been it's very interesting. I've seen a lot of back and forth on this, but basically, Mercari put out a notice this week, and they say, here's what you need to know, effective March 27th, 2024. So already effective, ladies and gentlemen, 0% selling fees. Selling fees for new listings on Mercari are now 0%. And so there's much more to this. I'm just going to do the high level. They want you to buy with confidence. Buyers will now be able to return items for any reason within 72 hours of delivery. So if you change your mind, if it doesn't fit, if it smells, which really stood out for me because I got a stinky book the other day. So it's like, it does smell like an ashtray, but I did want this book. So it's just kind of like being at my mom's house. So I'm used to it.
Set it in the sun.
Will that kill the smoke smell?
Sometimes.
Okay. Well, I will try that. Thank you so much. It is The Magic of Xanth, the first Xanth books. First 3 Xanth books by Piers Anthony, bringing back memories from when I was a kid. But Item not as described in the listing. Item doesn't work as described. Item was damaged during shipping. I didn't receive everything I ordered. I received the wrong item, or authenticity concerns. So pretty much any reason, but within 72 hours. And that's an interesting one. And then when you make a purchase, a service fee will be charged. The amount of the fee will be displayed as part of the final price of your items on the checkout page. And then payment processing and withdrawal fee. Mercari will charge buyers a payment processing fee at the time of purchase. That includes a payment processing fee of 50 cents plus 2.9% of the transaction price, which includes item price, shipping, service fee, and sales tax. And then finally, direct deposit. As always, you can request to cash out your balance to your checking account with direct deposit. Starting on after the 27th, there is a $2 flat fee per cash out. So, not to put you on the spot, Susie, but any high level thoughts on this? I'm just putting the facts out, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the messenger, Susie.
I don't really sell on Mercari, but it made me want to sell on Mercari.
That's good. That's good.
But
it's interesting.
I mean, I have free returns. I have free shipping on eBay. And I don't know about passing this fee on to the buyer. I think that's a little weird, but
Yeah.
I mean, it is a little weird.
So yeah, it's interesting, and I agree. It's like I'm still thinking on it, and Suzie Eads is a much bigger seller expert than I am.
I don't know about that.
Oh, I do, and I only have 2 kids, so you outweigh me there too. So I don't know.
Well, yeah, we may talk in 10 years and decide which one was better, was smarter, the one with 2 or the one with 7.
All right. We will see.
I think Mercari, I can't believe quite that they're making the buyers pay the fee. But when I go to an auction, I pay a buyer's fee.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't know if the internet's ready for that.
Yeah, I think, it's interesting. We're going to have to see how it goes. More info, obviously, at Mercari.com. I do like Mercari. I do like selling on there. I buy some stuff occasionally. But this was all interesting when it came out. So it's out there. Check it out. Just wanted to drop that tidbit. But couple other things before we go. Obviously, this is every Friday with Clara and Amanda, with a guest, with a topic. We'll be here most Fridays. Every once in a while, something comes up, so you never know. Then always, Trish and I have reseller tips that we do on Wednesdays now. That's a YouTube live. And we talked a lot about Listing Party. You got to check that out, listingparty.com. If you haven't checked it out, then obviously there's the Seller Community Podcast at thesellercommunitypodcast.com. And then also Dana Crawford's Power Selling Podcast as well. And then the List Perfectly blog, listperfectly.com/blog, or the sellercommunityblog.com. And then, of course, the Facebook group. So that brings along the question. If you're a regular viewer, you know all these things. Susie knows all these things. So is there anybody in the chat that's new to List Perfectly, hasn't used it, and want to post a comment? Just say new to List Perfectly, because I have something, but it has to be for a new user. I saw that List Perfectly is new to List Perfectly. I can get Clara free List Perfectly, actually. It carries over. No, we have a very I thought this was the Date with Doug site. Well, Cheryl, that's interesting, because Suzie Eads was the winner of the Date with Doug from Boss Reseller Remix. So we still need to do that. But I think, I think all you people that are commenting that you're new, thank you, Vanessa. Vanessa and I have a lot in common. All the cool things we've done at different times, all the cool things we've seen and done. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't look like there's any new users. Thank you so much, Trish. I have all the poll. No, I just show up. But
with your hair looking good.
Thank you. It's a whole process. You should have seen it this morning. That's what I'll do. We'll do a listing party on my hair.
The 13-year-old just went when you said that.
What? Yes, I'll give him some. I'll give him some hair kudos.
Yeah.
After he redoes his mom's website.
He needs
Yeah,
to.
thanks, Garden Resell Thrifts. We could tell. We could tell. You tried that one last week. But anyway, Brian Hargis and his lovely wife Suzanne tell me I got to work on my closings. So I'm going to close it out. We'll carry over the 3 free months till next week, but we'll be back next week. Thanks, Suzie. We love you. Always great to have you on. What's up, Zach? I hear you banging around over there. Hopefully your cereal was good. And then what's up, Rachel?
She's getting ready to print a bunch of things to ship stuff out. So she's got to make it to the post office in an hour.
It was funny the one time we had you on something and she was shipping and we heard the we know that noise.
Right. Well, you
All
have
right.
to work. I mean, you don't get anything for free around here.
That's true. I even have things to do. But anyway, thanks everybody for taking the time. We really appreciate it. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming to all the stuff. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Susie's going to grab a bite, do her shipping. I'm going to grab a bite. I did some shipping yesterday, believe it or not.
Yep.
Snoop Dougie ships too. So,
see you later.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. We will see you next time and see you soon.